South Africa's Tongaat-Hulett Group has three business divisions: sugar, starch and glucose, and property development. It has a price to earnings ratio of 13 and a market cap of 12 billion rand. It has a project to assist small farmers and land claimants in KwaZulu-Natal, who in turn ensure that cane supply to its mills is sustained. So, Tshepo, let's start off with you. I'm closer to the 10 level on the PE front, so is this one tickling your fancy? And this is an interesting one because during the tough times in Zimbabwe, this company actually just stuck it through, and now they're reaping the benefits of it, especially when you look at that Zimbabwean asset.
Actually, if I were to get into the sugar play, this would probably be closer to where I'd be looking on valuations. I think the business has done incredibly well in remaining in Zimbabwe, and they're starting to reap the rewards. I think we're starting to see, I can talk on Zim as a whole, we're starting to see good traction for businesses. I think the indigenization story is starting to be settled for quite a few companies, and Tongaat is one that's actually doing relatively well in that space. I think broadly speaking, this would be our focus over Illovo, just from a valuation perspective right now.
Okay, but we'll touch on that in a bit, whether you own us or not. But Paul, property development, this is also an interesting...
Yes, for better or for worse, quite a lot of Tongaat Sugar's land holdings ended up north of Durban, being in the development zone. So they have progressively sold off farms for enormous profits in the area around Mount Edgecombe, which is a golfing area, a whole lot of Sibaya, the airport, King Chaka Airport, the environs around Umhlanga and beyond. Fabulous. The trouble is, of course, is that kind of comes and goes depending on how the city is expanding. So they did fabulously there 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, but recently it's been a bit quiet. But that is something that ticks over, but it is a value underpin. The problem also, lots of land claims in the KwaZulu-Natal area, so that's a bit of a net negative. They've attempted to offset that, as you said in your intro, by kind of getting people involved with sugar cultivation. It's, as you say, done well to expand into Mozambique and into Zimbabwe in times of tough. It's got a great CEO, Peter Stody, people love him. Yeah. The African products business is not to be ignored either. That glucose starch thing, what they actually do is they manufacture maize-based products which go into SAB Miller. That's their main client. So, you know, it's got a fair business. It used to have Hulamin, the aluminium business. Thank goodness that's not there anymore. But, you know, it has its attractions.
I think you're laughing because you own Hulamin, don't you?
No, we don't own
Hulamin.
No.
Okay.
When you long Hulamin, you pretty much short the rand.
Okay. So milling capacity increasing dramatically in Mozambique, and you know, Paul alluded to it. They've just been making the right decisions. Peter Stouder has been making the right decisions as they go along, and perhaps again, when you look at some of the troubles on the land development front in KwaZulu-Natal, something they just need to sit through. Yeah.
If you actually look at their last set of results, I think 3 of the major divisions are actually looking quite positive. Of the major reasons, all of them are looking pretty good. Mozambique production increasing, Zim looks about the same. I'd agree. I think top management team that's looking like they're making the right decisions, and in the current environment, that's rewarding earnings. So I think the outlook for the next year remains quite positive for the business.
Cogeneration as well.
Yeah, I don't see that as a major business plus. I think that's just a response to the fact that they want to try and reduce their dependence on Eskom, and maybe they can sell some power back.
But that's the interesting thing. When I speak to Peter Stouder about this point, and they were waiting for policy for quite some time, and they were saying that they could actually generate quite a lot of electricity, so perhaps not being as dependent on Eskom, but that would be a fantastic plus for the company.
Yeah, because they've got this fiber-based, you know, waste product, which is the corn husks, not the corn husk, what do you call those things? The cane husks. But I mean, they can throw that into a generator, and they can even take some of the other wastes that they generate and put it into sort of biogas type products. So that's part of the agricultural story, but I don't think that's enough to justify a major new profit leg. It's just a cost saving issue.
But hot or not for you, Tshepo?
Look, I think through the cycle valuations still look richer than the rest of the market. I like the business, but not hot for us.
So at what level would you want the stock to go?
Lower.
How much lower?
Quite a bit lower.
Below 10. What is your benchmark? What is the level that you need to look at a stock?
Look, it's always a relative discussion, relative to what else you can get in the market, and right now you can get, I think, better opportunities in the market.
Paul Theron, hot or not?
Something seems to be going on with this stock. If you look at the 1-year chart, which I'm sure flashed up in a minute, it's spiked by like 10% in the last couple of weeks. So I hope to goodness somebody isn't preparing some kind of corporate action and we're the only three in the country that don't know about it. But for me, not hot. No.